Welcome back to another edition to Comic Book Flashback. I'm Marvel the Cross 316, and today we are looking at the Fantastic Four issue number 9. This issue came out in December of 1962, and today we are seeing the return of Submariner. That's right, and he's going to be battling the Fantastic Four once again. We have a fantastic issue, no pun intended here. Looking at Fantastic Four issue number 9. Today's title is The End of the Fantastic Four. Oh my goodness, what the heck is that all about? We're going to be looking into all this today. And so let's go ahead and get started. As always, got to give credit where credit is due. This is brought to you by Stan the Man Lee, who wrote this issue. We have Jack Kirby on the artwork, Dick Ayers doing the inking, and last but not least, Art Simek on the lettering page. Now let's go ahead and dive on into the story. So we begin the issue here, and we start out the issue here with Submariner, Namor. He is undersea, and he is watching television. I don't know how that's possible, but he's watching television underneath the sea, and he finds out that the Fantastic Four have become bankrupt. Now, how in the world did that happen? And so we see here that Namor's starting to think about some things. He's like, maybe this is the opportunity that I have been waiting for. They're penniless, and maybe I can really use this some kind of plan or scheme so that I can attack the Fantastic Four. So we'll find out exactly what he has planned and what he has in store for the Fantastic Four. But now let's catch up with the Fantastic Four. We come to find out that in fact they are bankrupt, and we see here that they are struggling here on just paying off all of their debt here. They owe so much money to all these different kinds of people here. We come to find out that Mr. Fantastic had taken all of his patents and put them in the stocks. And so he bought all these stocks, put the money in the stocks, and then the market went down, and then he lost it all. He lost all his money. And so now the Fantastic Four are in a little bit of a rut here as to finding out how they can be able to pay off all their debt. And they're going to have to sell all their equipment and maybe even sell the Fantastic Four headquarters just so that they can pay off their debt, as well as they might even have to disband the team. And so this is pretty bad scenario here. We see here, as we saw, the Pogo plan is being taken apart, and we see that the Thing does not like that at all. But we see here that they can't do nothing about it. They're going to have to take the Pogo plan. They're taking everything. We see that the Thing, he lashes out at Mr. Fantastic here about what happened here. This is really Mr. Fantastic's fault for putting that money in the stocks or buying the stocks. So we see here that the Thing, he walks out of the Baxter building. He's looking for a taxi cab. The taxi guy, even he knows that the Fantastic Four are flat broke. We see that he starts to lash out here. He shoots his flare gun after putting the car down on this pole here. And we see here that the Human Torch picks him up in the Fantastic car. That's about the only thing that they have left. And then we see that the Thing, he takes a stroll on by Alicia. We recall we met her last issue when we met the Puppet Master, as the Fantastic Four fought the Puppet Master last issue. And we see here that the Thing is now become really good friends with Alicia Masters here. And so she tells him one thing that's of encouragement here, and that is that the Thing doesn't need to abandon his friends, that he needs to be there for them when they need him the most. And so we see here that while the Fantastic Four, they're dealing with their struggles here, we come to find out that they get this telegram in the mail, and it says that they are wanted in Hollywood to star in a movie. And we see that the Thing rejoins the Fantastic Four here, and they all settle to go to Hollywood here to film in this movie. This will be their big chance to make some money here so that they can pay off their debts. So the one thing they have to do is they have to hitch a ride here And we see as we go into part 2, they make it to Hollywood here. They're finally in Hollywood Studios here, SM Studios. And we see here that there's a bunch of celebrities around. We see, I think, an appearance of Jack Kirby here. I think that's Jack Kirby. He drew himself in this issue. And we see here that the Fantastic Four go to the receptionist here and they say that they are reporting for a movie. The receptionist calls them into the producer's room, and the producer has his back turned to the Fantastic Four, and we come to find out that that producer is none other than the Submariner. And the Submariner here has a big plan in store to produce this movie and have the Fantastic Four star in this movie. We come to find out that ages ago, his ancestors came across stolen treasure from sunken ships and pirate, just all these pirates stealing money and stuff like that. And they knew all the locations as to where this hidden treasure was at, and all this treasure belongs to Namor. And Namor gives the Fantastic Four a bunch of greenbacks here, and he's like, "Look, I'm willing to pay you if you will star in this movie." And he said, "I promised you that. You're my former arch foes. You may have fought me in the past, but I'm here to set bygones be bygones, and I'm willing to meet with y'all and work with y'all." And so we see here that it looks like the Fantastic Four are going to trust Namor here, and we see that they begin to relax here. The Thing, he gets tired of these beachgoers, throws them into the ocean, and then we see that Namor meets with the Invisible Girl, that is Sue Storm, and we come to find out that, as we know from the past, Namor has a thing for Sue Storm. If you haven't looked at my other videos, you should know by now that Namor definitely has a thing for Sue Storm, and she's going to stay behind. She's not going to really be in this movie. It's only going to be Mr. Fantastic, the Thing, and the Human Torch in this movie. So they're all in these direct, distinct locations. They're isolated from each other. And we see here that what Namor is really going to try to do, as we see here, is he's going to try to isolate the Fantastic Four, and he's going to be setting them up. As we see right here, that Mr. Fantastic, as we go into part 3, has to fight the Cyclops. So we see right here from the get-go that Namor really isn't trying to film just an ordinary movie. He's trying to basically kill the members of the Fantastic Four so that he can get to the Invisible Girl and have her all to himself. But we see that that plan is not going to work out here, as we come to find out that Mr. Fantastic is able to defeat the Cyclops. We see here that the Human Torch, he goes to an island, and this people are immune to fire. And so that's another way of saying that you're toast, Human Torch. And as we see here, that the Human Torch gets captured here, and they try to murder him, basically. But we see that the Human Torch was able to get out of harm's way here. And so there's two fells right there. And then let's see what Namor has in store for the Thing here. The Thing is actually going to fight, as we see here, Namor on his own turf as they're fighting in the ocean. And we know for certain that when Namor is in the ocean, he's in his element. And so Namor definitely puts up a big fight against the Thing here. And the Thing is helpless here. But then we see, as we go into part 5, the Thing starts to pull out Namor from the ocean, drags him by his own wrist. But all of a sudden, there comes this storm. Thing is struck by a lightning bolt, and he shifts back into Ben Grimm here. And then Namor is able to overcome Ben Grimm here, as he is just in his normal Ben Grimm state. And so we see here that Namor thinks that he has defeated the Fantastic Four. He returns to the Invisible Girl at the SN Productions here at the studio, And we see here that the Invisible Girl comes to find out that Namor set this whole thing up so that he can get closer to Sue Storm here. And so we see here that she's not having any of it. She doesn't trust Namor. She tries to get away. We see that Namor has all this special powers here, as he has the power of an electric eel. But all of a sudden, as we come to find out that the Fantastic Four are coming to the rescue of Sue Storms, and they're going to try to tackle Namor here, Sue Storms gets in the way and says, "Look, we never have teamed up and just tried to gang up on a person before. Let Namor give us our money, and then he'll be going his way." And so that's exactly what we see here. Namor gives them the money. The film is produced, and we see here as we end the story here that the Fantastic Four are able to pay off all of their debts and return back to normal here. But the scheme of of Namor the Submariner had failed here, and this will not be the end of the rivalry between the Fantastic Four and Namor the Submariner. I'm sure we'll see more of Namor in future issues. I hope you like this issue. It's something different, and so we'll look at issue number 10 next. But until next time, keep reading comics.